We continue to follow breaking news right now out of Thornton, where police say 2 officers are hurt after a shooting inside of a home.
This all started around 9 this morning when police responded to a home on Columbine Street near 160th and York. Shots were fired from inside that home, and we learned 2 officers were hit. We do have a crew on the scene. We're going to check in with them in just a bit.
Right now, though, we are checking in with Joel Hillen at the desk with more. Joel, good morning. What can you show us? What details do you have about what happened here?
Well, Brian and Michelle, the sort of trickle of information has been coming out of Thornton Police, just one small tweet at a time. They don't have a media staging area that's been set up. They have not made direct contact with us as media partners, so it's been difficult for us to convey information to the neighborhood. We're still unsure if a reverse 911 has even gone out. And I want to show you on the computer where this is at. This is a very fresh new development area that is along right near I-25 and 160th, and you can see right along there you got that Top Golf, and I'm going to zoom on in. This is York and 160th, and it is just up here off of Columbine Street where we are seeing that conglomeration of all units. This is a fire department. You've got Thornton PD. It looks like they have some SWAT equipment that has been there at the scene, and they are trying to deal with a man who's been firing shots out. We understand that 2 police officers have been hit in this gunfire exchange, but they were being treated on scene, so it's likely just grazed, but we're working to get confirmation on that as well. We've been seeing shots from copter of a helicopter that's been in that area, and we have learned from, and let me take you over to the police feed here, that they are landing a medical helicopter nearby just in case it's the staging area. And as copter zooms in, this has been sort of the focus. When copter first arrived, we saw a person that was sitting out on this porch of this home, and they have moved inside, and then police have had that area surrounded, and then the volley of gunfire had come from that building. And so that's when they pulled everyone back. They said tweeted out that this was an active scene and that shots were still being fired, and to please keep clear of that area. But you can see just how much law enforcement are right there along this intersection. And this would be like 161st and Columbine, but right there, that is the focus, which is the SWAT vehicle, which is now pulled up onto the lawn of this house. And it looks like they do have people in the back as well. Was that giving a thumbs up? I'm not sure. They were signaling to someone out there. I don't know if they've been able to make contact with the suspect yet. I will say that just given the behavior of the folks, the law enforcement on the scene, they seem to be walking around, which that is typically a good sign. They aren't running around, and it seemed like they were outside of that SWAT vehicle and not barricaded inside of it. And look, you could see police now just walking along and with the weapon along the side. I'm wondering if this event is starting to come to an end, or if they are going to prepare to escalate this by going or moving towards and into that house. But that's the situation we continue to watch. So Brian and Michelle, what do we have? We've got Justin Adams, which is just arriving on scene now, with Dale Atchison, our first photographer that was there on the scene. Eddie Castro, just into the Colorado Broadcasting Hall of Fame, is arrived on scene as well, and Michael Abeda is heading there. So we're going to have another update coming at noon with lots of information from the field. And then we are going to have Michael Abeta continue to follow this through our early evening shows at 4, 5, and 6 right here on CBS News Colorado. But as copter comes around there and you're getting a better idea of this house, again, Brian and Michelle, what I'm focusing on is the behavior of the responding officers who seem now to be casually walking into that house.
Yeah, casually walking, so that threat may have been taken care of. Joel, thank you so much. We want to get to Justin Adams, who is on the scene right now and on the ground. Justin, I know you just got there a few minutes ago. What have you learned?
Well, we just heard a loud flashbang about 5 minutes ago, actually, before Joel started talking. And so that's one of the main things. But I want you to take a look just at the scene that we have right here from the street level. You can see a police officer off to the left, as we have my photographer, Dale Atchison, who is actually blocking off a lot of the traffic. This is at Highway 7th and York Street. And you can see several different police cars that are out here just preventing people from going inside. Now, right where one car, one white vehicle, and this black vehicle here just went inside. That's where the shooting has occurred. It has occurred over there. And you can see also other vehicles right now that are being detoured, just rerouted from where this incident has taken place. And like we talked about earlier, there have been 2 police officers that have been struck by gunfire. They have been taken to the hospital. Spoke to my photographer Dale, and he said he had video of a couple of ambulances actually leaving from the scene overall. And so we're just going to keep you up to date on everything that is happening, but that is what we know as of right now. And once we do have more information, we'll let you know on CBS Colorado, guys. Back to you.
All right, Justin, thank you so much. Now, just in case you're joining us here, we are continuing to follow this breaking news right now, looking at this home on Columbine Street near 160th and York. Now, this is up in Thornton right now. The latest that we just heard from Justin just a few minutes ago is that he heard at least a couple of flashbangs, a couple of ambulances went into that scene as well. From what we're hearing from Thornton police, a couple of officers that were responding to this home were struck by gunfire. From the latest tweets that we've seen from Thornton police, they were being treated at the scene right now. But as we take a look at Copter right now, you can see a lot of those officers moving into the home right now. The posture here in terms of those officers, as Joel alluded to, really kind of tells a story. If this was more of an active scene, you would have a more, defensive posture here. So again, we're waiting to hear official word on what happened here this morning.
Yeah, this might be a good sign, as Joel was talking about, as they are entering the house. They were entering the house from the back of it, and now Copter is towards the front of the home, and a lot of law enforcement going in there. Joel thought that he saw one of the law enforcement officers in the back of the home give a thumbs up to the others who were waiting in the front. So again, we're going to wait to see what has transpired inside that home. But as you said, Brian, this all started around 9 this morning, and Thornton police officers responded to this home, hearing of reports of gunfire. And when they got there, there was somebody who was firing from inside that home. 2 officers have been shot. We do not know their conditions, but we do know they were taken to the hospital. Joel was just talking a few minutes ago about a medical helicopter getting to the scene there. We don't know what that medical helicopter is for, and if they are going to, in fact, respond, knowing that something else has gone on and transpired inside this home where the threat may have been taken care of, since, like you said, the posturing of law enforcement is not as dire as it once was.
That's right. Again, 2 officers reportedly injured here. We do not have any information on the suspect here, the condition of that suspect, if other people were involved as well. This is a look from the ground as well. You can see that ambulance moving away right here. This is a video from earlier. A photojournalist, Dale Atchison, captured that as the ambulance was leaving the scene. This is other video from the scene as well. Again, this is near Columbine Street, near 160th and York up in Thornton, relatively close to the Topgolf, as Joel alluded to, if you're familiar with that area. But streets are blocked off there, so if you see all this police activity, that is what's happening right now.
Yeah, and it could be blocked off for quite some time. Yeah. That was video that we were just looking at. Now we want to look at a live look from photographer Eddie Castro, who is out there on the scene. You can see a lot of law enforcement out there, a lot of blocking of those major roadways in that area as they try to secure that scene, and they've created a perimeter, as you can see there. Eddie getting a lot of law enforcement, standing next to their vehicles, and a lot of flashing lights. Again, this home is located near 160th and York in the 16,000 block of Columbine Road.
Yeah, this is the Orchard Farms neighborhood, if you're familiar with that area, again, up in Thornton. We continue to follow this breaking news right now. Again, 2 officers were injured here. We do not know the extent of their injuries at this point. It does remain an active scene, however. And as we take a look at Copter here, again, the posture of what's happening, you see the officers just kind of casually walking around there. Again, much different than what we would typically see if this was more of an active situation. Again, we're not reading into this too much here, but if this was more of like an active shooter situation that was typically happening, you would see these officers take more of a defensive position at this point. But you see a couple of officers there just hanging out in the garage area. In the front, we saw a couple officers in the back as well. We don't know the situation behind the shooting in the first place. Again, we're working to gather those details as we speak.
And we're going to continue to follow this. Of course, you can always keep updated online on CBSColorado.com, on our 24-hour stream, and again on air at noon.